with Breadhead. I'd like to share a simple salad recipe that I made up on the fly with the food that we received from the Social Justice Learning Center today. All of the food that we receive on Fridays goes to our Gaia's gift baskets, in which we provide pantry items and fresh fruits and vegetables to people who need it. So if you're one of those people, look us up at breadhead.org and get in touch, and we hope to see you soon. In the meantime, I'm going to start on the simple salad. So in the boxes today, I got some watermelon, cucumber, jicama, and cherry tomatoes. And I'm going to add some cotija cheese and some limes. And the only thing we'll need to finish this is salt, pepper, and a little bit of olive oil. So let's get started. Watermelon first. And before I start, I have clean hands. I'm wearing an apron because I don't like to get my clothes dirty, and I'm a messy cook. I have a dish towel next to me because I like to wipe off my hands when I need to, so my hands don't slip on the knives, and I'm ready to go. And then I have my trusted, lovely trash bowl. This is so good to have in the kitchen. It saves time and energy. You don't have to take scraps and take them to the trash. You don't have to get the handle on your trash can dirty. You just throw it all in here, and then it's ready for compost or the trash, whatever you decide to do with it. So I'm going to cut the watermelon. I'm going to start by cutting the ends. This is just how I feel that it's easier. I'm actually going to save this piece because there's a lot of watermelon left over, and I'll just eat that with a spoon before I throw the rinds in the trash. So I'll set those aside. And this is how I like to cut a watermelon. You know, I didn't even check to see if this is seedless, but we'll figure it out as we go. I've cut off both ends, and I'm just turning the knife around and peeling off the rind. It's super easy on a watermelon. It's a little more complicated on harder fruits and vegetables like a pineapple, but on a watermelon it's super satisfying because you can just carve it off like this, and you basically have a beautifully presented, I can't say it's a circle, but it's kind of like a sphere. So I'm gonna cut it in half. We'll see how much we need. And it is seedless, which is great because dealing with seeds is not always fun. Since we have half of this, I think I'll tip it back up on its side, and placing my fingers in between both pieces and holding rather firmly, I'm just gonna cut it in half. And then I'll make slices going this way. I wanna make a slice, a chunk that's big enough to put in my mouth, but not so small that it falls off your fork. If you're a stickler and you like things exactly the same size, what you could do is you could just shave off the top, so you could have a squarer chunk when you're done. But as of now, I think that this is okay. We'll just cut a few chunks, and we'll add these to this bowl right here. I'm gonna place this here, set these aside. We'll just add these to the bowl, and we'll continue with the process. The rest of the stuff, so we don't need all this. I'm just gonna toss this into a bowl and save the scraps, like I said, for a different thing. Something that you wanna be aware of at home is cleaning as you go. I'm using paper towels right now because it's what's on hand. It's not the most economical thing. I wouldn't recommend doing this every time you clean. I would recommend just using a clean dish towel and saving it so you could just wipe your surface as you go. I'm just gonna save this and set it aside because it doesn't need to be changed every time. If you're not using, if you're not transferring meats or poultry or fish to your vegetables and fruits, you can just use the same knife and the same sponge to clean off your surfaces. So I'm gonna put in the cherry tomatoes now. I like to cut cherry tomatoes with a serrated knife. I feel like it's much easier. So I'm just gonna have them. We probably won't use all of these, but I do like to have an option and kind of go on the fly as to what I end up deciding to put in my salad. The ends of the cherry tomatoes, I eat them. You guys decide if you like them. They don't bother me. Perhaps on a bigger tomato, I would take that out, but cherry tomatoes are really easy to just pop the whole thing in your mouth. So I think that's enough tomatoes. I'm gonna pour that in, and I'll set these aside. And then we'll go right on to the cucumber. I'm gonna place my bowl up here and just peel the cucumber skin directly into the bowl. That almost looks like a zucchini. I really like these peelers. They're not very easy to find, but I feel like they give you a little more control when you're peeling your vegetables than those big ones that are usually at like Ralph's that you can buy real quick, but they're not the easiest things to find. Every once in a while, you can come up on them. Okay, so again, I'm cutting off a lot. I'll probably just eat the ends later. This is just to show you the pretty finished version, but there could be more waste than you're anticipating, and why not eat it? There's no reason not to. So with the cucumber or any round vegetable, you want to cut it in half and lay it flat so you can cut without it rolling around and potentially cutting yourself. So anyone that's looking for little knife tips or ways to hold your knife or handle grips or proper hand positioning when cutting, please check out our video on YouTube of knife basics. In the meantime, I'm just gonna keep going real quick and show you this salad. This is that's a good cucumber. It's not even the color that I'm usually used to seeing in cucumbers, but it's really fresh. Thank you again, Sigil. So we're almost done. And now for the jicama. Jicama is actually a fruit, if you can believe it or not. It grows on trees. It's a really cool looking tree if you ever get a chance to see one. I've never seen one in real life, but okay, so this jicama is a little rotten on the inside. Totally fine. I'm gonna cut around it and I'm still gonna use it, and we'll taste it just to make sure that there's no other problems with the flavor, but I'm sure it's gonna work out and be fine. Usually with fruits and vegetables, you can save most of them, even if some of them are bad, by just peeling away the parts that aren't good. So we'll just see. This is a difficult, I'm not using the right knife to do this with. Let's try again. Let's try a little paring knife. And let's just make it easy. See, that's so much easier. Using the right tool in the kitchen just makes life so much easier. Why make life more complicated? So paring knife, next time I cut jicama, noted. I'm just gonna taste it to make sure it tastes good because it was a little funky. It's great. Since jicama is a hard fruit and it's a little difficult to pair something so hard with other fruits and vegetables that are softer, I'm gonna make a smaller dice. So with this one, for example, first I would just make some slices. And then taking those, putting them on their sides, make more horizontally. So now you have some nice little julienne sticks. They're called julienne. This is the cut. It's kind of like a little French fry. And this would be really good to fry up, actually. And then I'll just make some dices. So it's a pretty uniform cut. This is just, I don't even think you could consider this a mirepoix. That's kind of just like a rough dice for soups. This is just basically a big dice. And that's all I'm gonna use of that. I'll put the rest aside for later. Clean off my knife. So we have this beautiful salad. It's full of fruits and we're gonna stir it up a little bit. People that haven't tasted tomato and watermelon together, I promise you it's a delicious flavor to behold. So try it out. You never know. Trying new things can always be surprising. I'm just gonna add some salt, just a few pinches, because I don't want to over salt this salad. It is sort of a sweet salad with the watermelon, a little bit of pepper as well. And then we'll add some lime and some cheese. I'm just gonna squeeze it right in. The nice thing about limes is that they don't have seeds. So if you're a lazy cook like me, you can squeeze a lime directly into the bowl and then not have to fish out the seeds afterwards, which is what I always have to do with lemons. And I like to, after I've squeezed the lime, I like to cut off the pulp off the sides, and I like to add that into the salads because I feel like it gives it an extra flavor and a little fun texture when all is said and done. So any leftover, it's not that much on this one, but I'm just gonna trim it and add it. And then we will add just a tiny bit of olive oil. This is completely optional. And I do like to fill up a cap or a spoon before I pour olive oil or vinegar into a bowl, because you never know, if you're gonna add too much or too little. I'm just gonna add a tiny bit more. So I think that this would be the equivalent of a tablespoon and a half, or maybe even just a tablespoon. It's just to give it a little bit of flavor. Okay, so we have our salad ready. I'm gonna taste it, of course, with a spoon that I'm not using to serve. Don't double dip if you're serving people. I'll taste the tomato and the watermelon together. I think that's great. Actually, I was going to add cotija cheese directly to this. I don't think I am. I'm gonna serve it, and I'll just place a little cotija on top for some texture and a nice little vibe. So really, it's like just a sprinkle because I don't think it needs it. And that's it. Our cucumber, tomato, watermelon, jicama, and lime salad. I really hoped that you enjoyed these moments with Redhead, and I really hope you enjoy this meal. If you want to, check out our website and our YouTube channel for more inspiration. Remember, you do it your way. If this didn't suit you, you find the flavors that do and go for it. Bye.